Episode 7. Episode 7 of Oshinoko got me. It got me real bad. Now, granted, episode 6 was very, very heavy. But episode 7, I think, is where it kind of brought it home. Just kind of kept hitting. I think I get a lot more emotional when it comes to seeing sort of somebody coming out of something dark. Seeing people actually supporting somebody. It just gets me extremely, extremely emotional. But oof. I got so angry at the end, though. The ending made me so mad. Now, granted, not the part that Akane literally is becoming I, but more so in the fact that I hated that she apologized. I hated that so much. Oof. I know why she did it, but it doesn't make it any easier to accept that she has to apologize to these nasty, nasty, nasty people. Oof, I like that they actually acknowledged it, and I wasn't sure if they were, but eventually Aqua confronting one of the directors, the people working on the project, and saying, y'all did this. Y'all purposely chose not to show this scene because you wanted this to blow up, and you basically threw her on a bus. You wanted this I'm getting so angry. It's so great that I get so angry at a work of fiction. And I'm going to get into this quite a bit more. I'm planning on making a video talking about obviously what has been stirring up a lot, or at least re-stirring up with the episode 6 release. Obviously it being somehow connected to somebody specifically, and I'm really unsure about how I want to address it. I know I can just jump immediately on it and get the clicks and everything, but I want to give it some really good thought, and I don't want it to be focused on that. That's the important thing. I think what's happening right now with Oshinoko with episode 6, and it's probably going to happen the same with episode 7, is it's stirring up this conversation that I think is only damaging everybody. It's just something that nobody wins in the end. But there is a topic within Oshinoko that I think is very important. I feel very strongly about this story and what Akasaka is doing here. He is presenting the nastiness of humankind to show humankind to stop being nasty. That's the important thing, not the rest of the stuff, which I understand that it hurts people, but it's important in a lot of regards. But again, I'm working on that project. I don't know if I'll release it today or if it'll be tomorrow or if never. It's all going to come down to if I think there's a good message in here, not so much focusing on the controversy there, which I think is just, in my opinion, wrong to really focus on. But anyways, episode 7. Back to episode 7. Really, really fantastic episode. Obviously opening up where we left off with Aqua helping Akane, protecting her, finding out that, yes, Mimcho said, hey, look, she's gone. She's out in this typhoon. This is not right. He ended up finding her. But this turns into the big moment for Akane. She's broken, obviously. She's hurt. But then she's surrounded by the people that love her. And that is... it hurts so much. That's what she needs. She needs people to surround her and support her to show her that this is all right. We're going to be here for you. The mother didn't even know anything about it. They kind of emphasized that in the previous episode, this idea that the mother didn't know. She didn't want to tell her mother, despite the fact that some of the nasty messages were about her mother. They were tearing into her mother saying, this thing spawned from somebody. Her mother must be a terrible person too. She didn't want her mother to face that or to worry about her. So it's really great to finally have that moment where everybody's supporting her, but it's not fixing anything. Obviously, it's not going to fix the main core problem here, which I think so much of the gut punching in this episode is from the perspective of Kana speaking to the others. Kana is dropping truth bombs in this episode. She's literally Akasaka pointing out that this is more than this one thing. And again, it doesn't belittle this one thing. And again, I'm not bringing it up for a specific reason, but this is a big issue. Cyberbullying in general is a massive, massive issue. But when they're condensing it even down to just reality TV shows and obviously just the reception of viewers of an entertainment industry, it's bigger. Miyako points out the number of, there's been over 50 cases like this of somebody ending themselves because of this backlash on reality TV shows. And Kana, again, truth bombs from Akasaka through Kana, is literally saying, times that by 10. And that's how many. We're being really, really generous here. That is at least how many you're looking at for people that have considered it. They may have failed or they didn't get that far. But this is a bigger issue, and the idea that this affects a lot of people. And then take that number and put it to just cyberbullying in general. It's a massive number that this is causing this. This cyberbullying, this aspect, this hate messaging that people do, that they feel justified in doing, is causing people to break. And the number is incredibly high. And it's more than just the number of people that follow through with it. It is a big issue. But no, I kind of assumed that Aqua was going to have a plan. And no, that plan wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I assumed it was going to be a case where Aqua is going to put on this big show on the show itself and improve her image through maybe a relationship and showing how nice she is. But no, it was actually a lot better than that, because it wasn't Aqua creating a facade for her. It was Aqua showing people the truth. And this is where it gets into the nastier side of the production itself, is that he acknowledges, he goes around, he gets information from everybody. Okay, I need as many pictures you got, videos you have. Like Mem shows, like, I only have like 100. He's like, that's a lot. And he puts this all together to produce the real story, the behind the scenes story that they're going to tweet out, and it goes viral. And the I hate it so much moment in this part is him confronting the people working on the project and saying, you have the footage of when this happened. You have the footage of when they hugged. You chose not to put that online. You chose not to air that because you wanted this controversy. You basically destroyed this girl by not showing that. You wanted this controversy. You wanted the hype around it. You wanted this nastiness because it creates viewers. How old are you? You think you said like 35 or something like that. She's 17. She's still a child, and you're destroying her life. What kind of adult are you if you're not going to protect this child? As an adult, you should be protecting this child, and you're not. He get him right in the guts. It's like one of those moments where I just want him to strangle the guy. But yeah, it all pushes this guy to give him the footage they need in order to show this. Now, there is a side of this whole situation that does irritate me a little bit. Is Yuki. I no longer trust Yuki. Now, in the hospital, the police station, it gave me a lot of fuzzy feelings when she runs up there, smacks Akane, and then hugs her. It's that frustration, but then that heartbreak. She was upset at Akane for doing this, but she still loves her. But there is a frustration there when you realize that she's literally coming out in the open and saying that, oh yeah, back here when I hugged Akane, I knew the camera was there. I made sure to position myself. You can say that is technically just the subconsciousness of an actress, that she knows at all times where the cameras are at. So it's not a case of her running up there and going, all right, where's the perfect camera angle? Yeah, I love you. It's more of a thing of, okay, this situation's happening, don't worry about it, but she still subconsciously knows there's a camera right here. And maybe there's even an aspect of, because she knew a camera was there, she's assuming that this is all going to be filmed anyways. So it's like this juggle act. I'm sure eventually we'll find out the true nature of Yuki. We'll find out that she's a terrible person, or we'll find out that she's genuine. So far, she seems pretty genuine, despite that she does act a certain way on camera. And again, that could be an aspect of the subconscious mind of an actress. She's always going to be aware of where the cameras are at, even if this is a sincere moment for her. It is nice, though, because there's several points in this episode that we see sort of a different side of Aqua. One of the concerns I had early on was this idea that I was going to get tired of Aqua. But at least now I've been sort of solidified in the idea that Aqua does acknowledge people around him. I mean, he puts it early on, this idea that after everything happened and they're sitting in the hallway, he says specifically, when you hear somebody cry out for help, you need to act quickly, otherwise it'll be too late. He acknowledges she was hurting, she cried out, and I made sure that I got there. And that's something that's important for everybody. If you ever get an indication that somebody is hurting, the best thing to do is be there. And not only just be there, but try to consistently be there. Even when they're not crying out, be there. The sign's already there. Be there on a regular basis. I mean, that's a big thing with a lot of people. The most cheerful people out there are often the ones hurting the most. So it's hard to see that. So you have to look for those signs that they're hurting. Or if they had a brief moment where they did show something, again, to consistently be there. Consistently make sure they're still on the right track, that they're not hurting. But yes, also in the idea that this makes him angry. This whole thing makes him super angry. The production team, what they did to her, and yes, the netizens and all the crap that they're saying online, they're getting away with. Everybody is nasty, and it makes him angry. He wants to fix that. Now, it turns into an aspect of him not doing it in a way that's going to destroy them. It's impossible. It's sad that it's impossible to destroy all this stuff. And this is, again, why I think this is such an important story. You can't fix it. You can't stop it. You need to show people what they're doing wrong. And that's exactly what he does. He shows them how they're wrong. And it's cool in the aspect that it's sort of pointing out this bigger picture that, sadly, you can never see. It's hard to see it. His choice was to use this footage that nobody sees to show the real story in order to bring forth those that would support it. It's sad that, yes, technically this whole thing is the loud minority. It's this loud, small group of people that is destroying Akane. And the majority doesn't talk. They don't say anything. We're quicker to complain than to praise. I've experienced this plenty of times. I say one thing that somebody doesn't like, and they become this loud minority. Whereas I know that everybody else liked it. I mean, a video itself can prove that. If you see the like to dislike ratio, you see these really nasty people that are like, holy crap, you're a terrible person. I hate your guts because you did this video. But then I look at the ratio and I'm like 99%. So obviously a majority of people like the video, but none of them say anything. Not to say that nobody supports me. I appreciate all the support that I get, but it's to show the point. That was Aqua's goal. If I bring this video out, if I give them something to feed off of, that silent majority will rise up and they will have something to drown out the loud minority. It is a hard thing as a content creator, entertainer to acknowledge when somebody is beating you down online that they're the minority, that they're just a small portion. They're not the big picture. And I get this a lot in anime in general when I'm covering it. There's a lot of cases where somebody says, oh my gosh, this show this. And I'm going, yeah, but you're talking about like 2 comments. That's not the majority of people. That's been my longest argument with something like social media and Twitter and stuff for the longest time. When somebody says, oh my gosh, this is a big deal because it's got, 100 likes or 1,000 likes. And I'm like, but that's not the world. Most people don't care about this subject. It's just this little group of people on Twitter or Facebook. It's hard to acknowledge sometimes that it's not that big. But the bigger picture here in the story is that for Akane, it's big. And that's the important thing. And that's the sucky thing. And it's really the message in these last 2 episodes. As hard as it is to say, Kana is like, I kind of wish that she would back off. Some people aren't fit out for this. Some people can't handle this. And that's the thing that I said in my last episode impressions. It sucks to say that if you don't have thick skin, you're not cut out for this. Because it's then excusing the fact that cyberbullying and this crap exists, and it shouldn't. Nobody wins in the end, like I said before. But yeah, the footage getting out, Akane watching it, absolutely broke me. It's just, oof, it hurts so bad. I got super teary-eyed. And it's interesting that following this whole thing, it's like this aspect of she wants to continue. Akane wants to continue. But it's so interesting that they now sort of emphasize this aspect of watching what you say. And it wasn't so much in the regards of, say, Yuki being afraid of saying the wrong things to Akane, but it's more of a thing of realizing that between her and Akane understands. But now everybody's hyper-focused on what they say. This whole situation made them hyper-focused on the words they choose because they're afraid they're going to be the next one attacked online. Yuki saying, oh, crap, I didn't mean it that way. Oh, I know you didn't mean it that way. Man, I have to be careful about what I say. If I said that on Twitter, I'd be destroyed. And it happens again later when Akane says, I was kind of hoping that she'd step out. Oh, wait, that was a really nasty thing to say. I'm glad I didn't say that online. Everybody's now hyper-focused on what they say because it's going to get super hyper-criticized. But yes, this all leads to their next big plan, which is how do we fix or at least improve Akane's image going forward? And that is for her to do exactly what Aqua said at the very beginning of this whole situation. People are better when they create a facade, because when that facade is criticized, you're not criticizing yourself. And it makes perfect sense. their idea is to have Akane come out there and create a new self. And of course, when they ask Aqua what his ideal girl is, he starts blabbing off about Ai, of course. And I don't know how, but they somehow managed to go, oh, that sounds like Ai. Sure, whatever. But yes, this turns into pretty much seeing what makes Akane so special. That we kind of get a hint of it. She's like this pro stage performer. She puts on the great act. She's able to become her character so well. And she does that with Ai. Sitting there just piecing together any information that she possibly can. Somehow, despite the fact that nobody else in the world's figured it out, she's figured it out that yes, Ai has been with somebody. Her confidence has changed a little bit. So thus a sign that she had been with a man. But yes, it turns into her showing up. Again, I hate it. She apologized to the team. Hate that, even though they're the reason why you were there. But yeah, she turns on Ai mode and becomes Ai. Not only that, but apparently between closing her eyes, slit her eyes to become, the same eyes and everything. I know it's just the symbolism of it, but it's kind of weird. It's still weird. Yeah. I'm not sure how that's going to go. I kind of wonder if it's an aspect that it's going to creep out Aqua, or if it's going to be an aspect that it's going to overtake him to the point where he is going to find himself conflicted with wanting to fall in love with her, despite the fact that he knows full well she's putting on an act. I think that's going to be really the story going forward, is I think it will at least entice people. I'm sure that she might actually get some criticism for being Ai. Like, people might pick up on it going, wait, why is she acting like Ai? What a terrible person. But I think on the end of Aqua, it's going to be an aspect of him conflicted with him slipping into this, here's Ai. Here's the one that I love. This is the one that I cherish. And I keep seeing her, and I keep falling into it thinking that it's Ai. And I think it's going to turn into the aspect of him snapping out of it and wanting to push her away because of it. I think it's going to really stir up trauma within Aqua. Like, this is going to blow up in his face. But that's just my assumption at the moment. We'll see where direction it goes. It's probably just going to turn into something that actually, it's probably going to be more into facades than ever before in the story, which I'm excited for. Because again, everything that this writer, Akasaka, has actually touched on so far, he's done really, really well. So whatever subject he's going to get into, I think is going to be handled perfectly. Anyhow, that's my thoughts on episode 7 of Oshinoko. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below. Comment, let me know what you thought of the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button so you get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks button down below. Greatly appreciate everybody supports the channel. Like I said, we'll see if I'll make a video on the whole controversies, if you want to call it that, behind 6 and probably going to be into 7 as well. But again, I'm not going to do it unless I feel like it's going to have a good message in there, because it's not something I want to dive into unless I have a good message in there. And a lot, again, has to do with the fact that I think stories like this need to happen. For people to acknowledge the nastiness of themselves, they need to see it sometimes. But that said, y'all take care.